Okay, so if you want to just tell me a little bit about your experience at that, you said it was a summer camp?
Right. Well, basically, what happened was it was at night. We were out playing a game and just kind of running around and being kids at a church camp. It was probably, I want to say maybe around 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, something like that. And we were heading back in to go hear a message by one of the guest speakers there, who happened to be Pastor Dave Boyd. And uh, we told him about what we saw on our way back in, and there were some picnic tables out there, and we were out past the picnic tables. We were playing some kind of flashlight game, and we were the last ones to come in. Um, and uh, we happened to see what looked like two satyr-like creatures. Uh, or no, not two. It was three. Excuse me, because there were two. There was one standing by the table. There was one sitting on the bench, and then there was one sitting on top of the table. Um, and it looked like they were just conversing and having, some kind of conversation. And then they stopped, and all three turned and looked at us. Um, and we knew that something was going on. We could tell that, it was something concerning the spiritual realm, because I looked to the other two guys that were with me uh, and asked them, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Do you see them over there by the picnic table? And all three of us were like, yeah, we see them. Um, and so uh, from there, we were like, you know what, we're going to go back. We're going to get our Bibles. We were young kids in the sixth grade, and uh, so we headed back to the cabin to go grab our Bibles and then head back. But after we uh, talked to the guest speaker, Pastor Dave, he strongly recommended that we stay there at the cabin, and we followed his advice. And he didn't really say much else to us after that about it or anything like that. But we were all very curious, and wanting to know what was going on. And I think that was my first big experience with the paranormal or deeply spiritual uh, aspect of things. I've had other experiences in my life where I've seen uh, demons, other demons, and even some angels, just kind of as in not the angels weren't as clear. They're always more of a blur to try to see, because of the fact that they really try not to interfere with people's lives as much as demons. Demons, they don't care. They'll be all up in your face, and you know make it very obvious that you're seeing them. And so and the aura of connected with them is also very different. A lot of the times when you see when I saw the angels and stuff, it was a very relaxed, very peaceful, almost like you could fall asleep type atmosphere around them, that just came with them. And then, whereas with demons, it's like your skin crawls, your senses are heightened way more. You're on super high alert, and you don't want to let your guard down for whatever reason. It doesn't matter how curious you are. It's just your body naturally tenses up, uh, and you don't ever turn your back to them. It's like you can't. Whereas with an angel, you have no problem turning your back and then doing a double take and go, wait a minute, I just really see that. And so it's just a lot of things that are very different.
Um, so that, I guess going back to the summer camp real quick, about what year was that? Maybe
Oh my goodness.
95? Does that sound about right?
Late, mid to late 90s, I guess. Yeah, like I said, I was in the sixth grade, so yeah, I would say probably about 95.
Okay. And was that like in a forested area, or was it kind of in the open, or if you want
It's there were trees, but it was it was around I want to say Friona, Texas. Um, so I don't, or maybe I may have that wrong. I don't remember exactly, but I could have sworn that the place or the town that we were close to started with an F. Um,
was it
but
in a canyon?
hmm?
What was it in down in a canyon somewhere?
It was. I wouldn't really say like a canyon, but kind of like a ravine, maybe.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly, but like I said, there were trees, but where the picnic tables, it was like an open field
Okay.
and stuff. And so, but like I said, there were kind of trees. Oh, maybe about. Oh, I don't even remember. I want to say maybe 30, 40 feet from the picnic tables,
Okay.
something
Uh,
like that.
and it was at night.
Right.
Okay.
Right. There happened to be a small light lamp post out there. It kind of had the orange glow to it, like a street light. But
Okay.
and so that really helped to make it to where their figures really, you could see the silhouette and see that they were not human.
Okay. You
They
could
were
tell by the.
humanoid. Yeah, you could tell, you could see um the the goat legs. Basically, you could see the hooves. You could see the horns on their head, uh, like a goat would have. So that's how come we knew very much that they were a satire-like creature.
Okay. And so I guess if you have anything else to add, you can do that. Or if there's anything you would like to tell people that if they had a similar experience, kind of what would you tell them?
Um, well, the biggest thing that I would tell people is, don't do anything rash. Definitely try to do your research beforehand. Because these encounters, and stuff like that can happen at any time. They're so random. Um, most of the time that you can't be calculated out, so you're not really sure of, you know, what to do. So the best thing that I would say to people is, if you're uh, someone that's strong in the faith, or that you have faith, then hold on to that. But if you're not somebody that believes in uh, in God, then I would be still just as careful. Um, I don't want to say anybody being religious, because religion uh, really doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't do a whole lot of good. It's more about having a relationship with the Creator, uh, and so in that aspect, it's it gets into a whole nother uh, topic and issue. But aside from that, my best advice is to somebody that has that experience is to stay prayed up to stay in the scriptures, uh, uh, and you know, to never uh, go into an encounter like that alone. You know, to always make sure that you go with at least one, maybe two other people. And again, make sure that everybody is all prayed up and you know what you're up against before you go into a head-on battle. You know, because if you're not prepared and you're not ready, then you will get beaten, you will get overtaken. Um, you know, all we have to do is, you know, again, turn to the scriptures and we can see things like that over and over again. You know, but we can also see where, um, you know, when you are prepared and you do have faith in God, you know, that you can overcome. You know, like King David, you know, God prepared him beforehand by having him face a bear and a lion, you know, while taking care of sheep. And, you know, so he was prepared for battle more than um, some of the military men in the army of Israel because of the fact that, you know, going up against animals, you know, you don't know what they're going to do. There's no way to really be prepared for that. You know, you don't know how they're going to attack. You don't know how they're going to advance on you or if they're going to advance on you. And so when King David went up against Goliath, you know, he was fully trusting God because of the previous battles that he had been in with the bear and the lion. You know, not knowing what was going to happen, what the outcome was going to be, but just trusting that God was going to protect him and take care of him. And so, if you haven't had those type of experiences in your life where you had to fully rely on God and trust that He would take care of you in the heat of battle, then I would say don't go into a battle that you're not prepared for. I couldn't uh, express that enough and emphasize that enough. That you know, don't go into a battle that you're not prepared for.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate the time and thanks
Hmm.
for telling your story.
Yeah, you're